travel line. You're on the air, my timeline.
Hello, Art.
Hello there.
Oh, I had to call back on your second timeline. I called, was it a month ago?
I
Seems like moments to me.
It's been about a month since I did the first time.
My name's Michael. I'm the pilot of the nonlinear transdimensional transport vehicle.
From the year?
2037. Well, 2037 is my report-in year.
Report-in year?
Yeah, that's my point of origin, where I go to,
All right, and
I go out on my next assignment.
You're going to have to remind me, your purpose here is?
My purpose at this moment in time? At this day, or?
Well, your general purpose for time travel.
Oh, well, I'm a trained pilot for a vehicle, and I go out with missions with other teams. I'm just a plane pilot, basically. There's nothing extraordinary about it.
Like a 737 jockey, something like that.
Well, more like a charter flight, let's say.
Charter flight, that's very good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I have a number of questions sent to me by listeners, which I would like to try out on you. Now, you're welcome not to answer any of them that you
Well, I'll give you a thing about my, discuss with other people who have been calling, going, well, I can't say that and stuff. For me to say, or them to say anything on the air isn't going to cause a paradox unless I'm talking about a specific person who may be listening. Like if I say, I know what's going to happen to Richard Hoagland. That could be a paradox. But me, you can ask away with anything because
Richard Hoagland is a paradox.
he will be redeemed, and well, I shouldn't say that.
Oh well, you can say that if you want to.
Well, he'll eventually be redeemed, which will certainly make him quite happy. But at around, we'll say around 2010.
2010. Well, good. That's good.
A cult following around him, which is
a cult following.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Richardites.
Richardites, exactly.
All right. Let me try a couple of questions on you.
Okay.
One is, why do you have to be here personally to observe? Wouldn't it be safer to use a robotic or video unit or a time machine view screen rather than physically traveling in time?
Well, you could do that, but when you're, as for me, if I travel, when I travel and I write my reports into, we'll call them my superiors, quote unquote, the personal experience is much more enriching, and your observations are quite different when you're personally there rather than sitting in a room with a robot and a camera,
Nothing like being there. All right, what happens if you get killed in a car accident or, say, die of a brain aneurysm while here in this time?
I don't get in cars in this time. Are you crazy? I have my own vehicle. I fly,
Good answer. Okay, let's see. What about our particular time do you find strange or curious or even irritating?
Well, this particular timeline, I mean, there's an infinite number of timelines, and but they all fairly correlate with each other, except for some extreme circumstances. One of them is what's going on in Phoenix, and that's going to be happening more and more.
Really?
The next hot spot is San Diego.
San Diego.
And in fact, I don't know if you may have been getting reports lately of sightings there. Now,
well, actually, that's a very good point. There have been sightings now, as you all know, in Phoenix,
right,
and down in Georgia, and up in Medford, Oregon, and all over the place. There are just sightings, more and more and more of them. Where is this leading?
It is leading to a change. I mean, these ships are operated by two different beings.
One might say a paradigm shift.
Maybe. No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I did that.
It's leading to an awakening, and certainly the eventual and gladly destruction of the Bilderberg group.
The Bilderbergers?
Yeah.
The poor Bilderbergers?
Okay.
All right. In our time, we are plagued with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
What causes it? Do we ever find out, or how it can be avoided or cured?
It'll be cured, but to tell you the truth, I don't know what causes it. That's something I never looked into. I mean, you can't say that all time travelers know everything. That just happens to be
You're just
an area that I'm not well informed in, but I eventually there will be a cure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, so you're just sort of a regular guy, time traveler, pilot type.
Well, yeah, pretty much so.
Okay, is there a crisis ahead? Everybody wants to know about that. We have remote seers and viewers and prophets and so forth, all of whom say that there is a very difficult time rather immediately ahead.
Well, there are several, and however, your timeline could split. I mean, right now, if you and I are, and everyone else at this point is sitting in this timeline,
right?
But they could split on various things that what happened. One thing I find extremely interesting, I mean, there are, as far as I could tell, an infinite number of timelines. But in order for a split to happen, something major has to happen. Like I've noticed there's only one timeline where Kennedy was not killed.
Really?
And that timeline that I've been in, it was just a disaster. So evidently he had to be killed. I mean, because he wasn't killed in that timeline, and everything went downhill after that. Everyone, people like to speculate, oh, if he lived,
From a time point of view, then, we should be thanking our lucky stars that he was killed.
Yes.
Pretty weird way to think about it, but the alternative was, I guess, according to you, unthinkable. What did occur in the timeline where Kennedy lived? Well,
the timeline where Kennedy lived, he exposed his knowledge on extraterrestrial visitations, which is what he had threatened to do.
Too early.
And yeah, and he completely disrupted the CIA, but basically that world at that time was not able to handle the information he put out. And
well, he didn't like the CIA. I mean, that's well known.
Yeah. But
now, can you